What's good, YouTube? It's your boy TSO Sage, and I'm back with another video. Now, despite the several Lakers debates we've had, how good is Anthony Davis, how good is Russell Westbrook, and whether they're even a super team or not, we all agreed that the Los Angeles Lakers were definitely seen as the disappointment in the NBA. And even though the monk going crazy, I'm not gonna lie, we probably still hold that title for now, but that disappointment label definitely fits the Boston Celtics as well. To be honest, you could argue they're a bigger disappointment than the Lakers, but that's not exactly the popular thing to do, you know? That's your little hot take, I guess. Either way, it's not really a contest, and for several reasons, Boston sucks. Especially when you compare them to the expectations set for them based off of last season, but it really gets worse when you compare them to the expectations set for this team years ago. And while the door isn't exactly shut, and I don't want to shadow clone this video, something needs to be done in Boston, and we need to talk about it. Because man, do y'all remember 2018? I remember 2018. In 2018, the Boston Celtics finally made a move, using their draft picks and other trade assets to acquire Kyrie Irving. And while they weren't exactly able to do what the Nets did and acquire him with Kevin Durant, signing Gordon Hayward, especially at the time, was definitely a major deal. Not only did you sign the guy fresh off of his career year, you also prevented a lot of other teams in your own conference, let alone the league, that if they got Gordon Hayward, they'd be a really big problem. And while as fate would have it, neither of those things would work out at all, really. Guess what? We still expected Boston to be on timing at this point. You see, the thing was, despite signing those two guys, and they were 100% putting their best foot forward into winning a championship, it was not some win now, cry later team. Not even close. They had an established young core on that roster. We thought the Boston Celtics were creating a dynasty in 2018, and that claim would only get reimbursed when that young core I'm referring to, along with the young coach that everybody was saying was the best coach in basketball, went on to the Eastern Conference Finals and was one player not having a meltdown away from getting past LeBron James and entering the finals them damn selves. Where even though majority of the world, as expected, was still going to take Golden State, prior to that Game 7 against Cleveland, there were a lot of people saying if Boston makes it to the finals, I'm just saying they might have a shot. That's what people were saying about the young core of the Boston Celtics in 2018. So what do you think we expected of said young core in 2022? Yes, I know Terry Rozier's gone, but guess what? A lot of people expected him to be moved anyway. But you still had Brown, you still had Tatum, you still had Smart, and you had Coach Brad. Those four are only bound to get better, so even without Kyrie Irving, even without Gordon Hayward, build a team around them, and it's not a matter of if, but when Boston wins a title.
The Bucks, a commanding 3-1 series lead.
You know, for me, the 22 shots, I should have shot 30.
You guys are having me back. I plan on resigning here next year.
April Fools!
The Heat eliminate the Boston Celtics in 6 games. Next up, the Los Angeles Lakers. Kyrie Irving with 25. And that's it. It's the end of the line for the Boston Celtics. Finds Barrett. Get a shot up. This is for the win. It's good! Off the window!
All them Clovers they represent, they don't ever have luck on their side. That's crazy. While you can do what a lot of Celtics fans do and chalk up 2019 to Kyrie Irving, Boston being disappointments 2 seasons after that was kind of crazy. Because talent-wise, Boston was on the timing that we expected them to be. Jayson Tatum knocking on the top 15 range. Marcus Smart at this point has won the whole franchise over. A lot of Boston fans at the time liked him more than Tatum. And spoilers, for different reasons, they still do. And I don't care what the highest of Jaylen Brown fans at the time will tell you. That man exceeded expectations. The individual talent of the team have clearly gotten so much better, but yet the team in its entirety arguably peaked in 2018. What the fuck just happened? That was a question asked by the NBA community, let alone Boston Celtics fans, year by year by year by year. And for my nitpicky commenters, oh, that 4th by year was on purpose. They basically asked that question after every game right now. And I guess here's the part where a lot of you guys expect the YouTuber to go, and the worst part is I don't really know what's happening with the Boston Celtics. Oh, no. I know exactly what's happening with the Boston Celtics. The problem is the fact that they're the same problems you've had for the past 3 to 4 years. Problem number 1, and let's start with a really underrated but really severe problem. The Boston Celtics as of late do this thing where they just let go of talent and don't really get shit for it. And like, no shit, that's just not a good thing. They basically let Gordon Hayward walk, bragged about how they worked the Cavs so badly to get Kyrie, and then quite literally let him walk, signed the Kyrie replacement, traded him for Al Horford, and both of them suck. So what the fuck? And for those that are about a bitch because I said that either Kemba Walker or Al Horford Horford sucks. Stop standing them, bro, please. Kemba barely gets playing time even if he's healthy, and Al Horford's 35, bro. Let it go. Anyways, and trust me, and it doesn't stop there. The Celtics also lost a lot of crucial role players. Terry Rozier, as I implied earlier. They didn't even call Marcus Morris. They just let bro walk the plank. Hell, another player they just lost to the Knicks. Evan Fournier not only goes to the Knicks, he drops 41 on Boston like, what, 2 nights ago? Hey, yo, this team sucks. I don't care who's on your team. I don't care what young talent you have on your team. You cannot allow consistent key talents to walk out the door for damn near nothing. It's just not acceptable. For the love of God, the team was referred to as one of the deeper teams in the league, and now they're top heavy as hell, and apparently they ain't top heavy enough. I don't think I need to go too long with this bit. Let's move on to the second problem Boston has had for a couple years now. Problem number 2 of the Boston Celtics is they have no identity whatsoever. You would think a team with Al Horford, Robert Williams, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart, they play some pretty damn good defense. They're like average, maybe a bit above average. You would think with 2 legit 25 point per game talents and a 16 point per game point guard on a prove-it-year deal, that their offense would be more than good enough considering that's damn near 70 points from 3 players. Their offense is cool. And now that you mention it, 2 25 point per game wings that if anything play above average defense, they're definitely solid on that end as well. You would think that team wins a lot of games and that duo is unstoppable. People think they don't work together so badly, they're arguing which one of them gets traded. The Boston Celtics, while still having a good amount of talent on their team, just kind of do the most random shit on a night-to-night basis. You got a guy like Marcus Smart consistently shooting 30-footers, consistently shooting them 5 seconds into the shot clock. And trust me, he's not the only one that does that. In fact, holy shit, who doesn't do that on the Boston Celtics? Robert Williams? Like I said earlier, the team is above average on defense. For some of you, you may even get mad and say, nah, Sage, you're tripping. It's a good defense. It's 9th in net rating, blah, blah, blah. I'm being so serious. If your 5th best defender is either Al Horford or Dennis Schroeder, the guy that at some point is gonna finally hit 10 blocks in a game isn't even seen as a top 2 defender on the team. And even if he is, he damn well ain't number 1 because Marcus Smart's on the team. That's supposed to be a great defensive team. They have the ability. They're just lazy on that, and then their bad offense definitely doesn't help. The Celtics don't have an identity. They don't have a culture, and hell, they don't even have discipline. It's so memeable and yet not talked about enough how often Boston blows not 10-point leads, not 15-point leads, trust me, not 20-point leads, but like 25, 28, 30-point leads. I know I can't go back in time, take a picture of my brain and prove it, but as I was thinking, okay, let me do a Boston Celtics video, and I think I even started working on the thumbnail. I see the Celtics go up 25 on the Knicks, and the first thing that came to my mind wasn't, oh damn, let me not do the vid because now everybody gonna be like, oh, but they just blew up the Knicks, bro. I literally said, perfect. Because at that point in time, me and all my Celtics friends knew that I knew that they knew that I knew. Y'all about to fucking lose. And that in itself is just sad, dog. I dragged them heavy in my video that was like a year ago at this point. Damn, time flies. But making Brad damn near your GM, your basketball operations specialist, whatever the hell the title is. He probably say that title everywhere he go like he Laurinaitis or some shit. Either way, giving Brad power ain't gonna change nothing. I don't know the Celtics players and they don't know me. I don't know Brad Stevens and he don't know me. But something between the Celtics players and Brad Stevens is not working. Whether they don't get along, don't like each other, whatever, it's not producing results. The players are too good and Brad Stevens, while he might be a bit overrated sometimes, still a pretty sharp basketball mind, but it's not working. And hiring a new face while empowering Brad even further really ain't gonna do a damn thing. I personally think it's time for them to part ways, but I understand a lot of people don't feel that way. But if he must stay and you still believe in Brad Stevens, the chosen mind of basketball apparently, get a roster that complements each other, get a system going, and whatever that system is, if you already believe in the system that you got right now, cool. Get your players to buy into it then, because they're not locked in. They haven't been locked in for a long time, but they damn well not locked in now. But despite everything I just said, Mr. Brad, you know what? I'm gonna chill on you now, because it's not all your fault. Because at the end of the day, we gotta look at the number 1, and Jayson Tatum, you ain't been in at all, my boy. Now, the only slack I'll give Jayson Tatum is whether you blame Ainge or Brad Stevens for this, but the way the Boston Celtics have been building their teams for the past couple of years, it hasn't been in the optimal way for Jayson Tatum. It's kind of just like, well, Tatum and Brown are really good, bro, so they'll win games. And the other 1,000 ways the Celtics could have managed their assets a lot better. I just got done talking about this shit, bro. Rewind. But no matter which way you slice it, I cannot ignore the fact that Jayson Tatum has been nothing short of disappointing. And as of late, damn near consistently. In the 2020 playoffs, we're heading into it, there was no more Kyrie drama. All the Kemba hype had died down. And even if you wanted to boost Jaylen Brown and say he was better, everybody knew that Tatum was that guy for the Boston Celtics. He was their number 1. And while Philly wasn't mentally nor physically on their A game, Jayson Tatum packed them the fuck up. Then he has a solid series against Toronto, nothing great, nothing terrible. But then he just fails in Miami, bro. I don't even know how to say it kindly. Hell, this is how the series started for him.
Clock at 7. Working against Butler, got downhill, couldn't punch it. Bam says, get it out of here.
Despite such a bad performance, despite showcasing the fact you might have zero leadership skills, to be honest, despite the fact Jaylen Brown just outplayed your ass, people had the belief that you were only going to get better and that you would take some leap next season and finally become that guy. But truthfully speaking, if you ask me personally, while I did see some improvement eye test wise, all I really saw was you doing what you did the year before but at a higher volume. Which again, being fair to Jayson Tatum, his roster was dealing with that bullshit last year. In the early half of the season, he dealt with it. And while I don't think Tatum was nearly as bad as a lot of people think he was in this net series, I definitely acknowledge the disappointment. We was all expecting a leap from Jayson Tatum and bro gave us a bunny hop. But again, the excuses are there, the rationale is there, and hell, he's still young, bro. Let's give him another year. And man, people bought stock into Jayson Tatum. For the love of God, people had him winning MVP this year. Shit, Tatum ain't say he was gonna win MVP, but he acknowledged he no longer needs to be a top 15, but more so a top 5 player. And if he can say that in public, screw having belief in him. To be honest, no shit, Sherlock. Tatum knew that people believed in him, but if he's saying that in public, that means Tatum knows he's responsible for where Boston goes. And he can't be playing the way he's playing right now, y'all. I'm not about to kill the guy for not becoming a playmaker. You know what? Get him a playmaker then, goddamn. But he could at least take smarter shots, at least optimize his defensive potential. If anything, just make the shot you're taking. And while I just said I don't expect bro to become some S-tier playmaker, it'd be nice if you tried something to help the team work better. On top of that, while I still believe you're still the best player on the Celtics, I'm not saying you gotta be all in people's face, get toxic and mad every time you lose and brag to everybody when you win. But I mean, just any leadership qualities out of you would look nice. It dead looks like you just out there doing shit. And I get it, for some of you, somehow you still practice patience. Or shit, no cap, you're just biased. Which even then I understand that. Tatum's a fan favorite, bro, I get it. But even for the few of you that the second you heard Tatum slander, dislike, comment, Sage you suck, I'm leaving. Be real with yourself. You know he not performing at the level that you expected him to do at this point in time? He's not, bro, he's just not. Remember how Tatum had such a bad start to the season, but then he had that 1 week where he dropped nothing but 30 bombs left and right, and everybody was like, oh yeah, he's back, there we go, there we go. This is how he's been since. Again, this shit is just underwhelming. And I'm not saying the guy is trash, not in the slightest. Definitely having a down year, but hell, the guy is still young. He still has potential to become a greater player. But I'ma just put it like this, day by day as time moves on, it's starting to look like we're a little too high on Jayson Tatum. Rather than becoming the next big thing, multiple time MVP, clear-cut #1 option, shit, you know what channel you on right now, the next him? But it's looking like Tatum might be that co-star that supports the next him of the NBA. And I don't want to bar that yet. Don't crucify me if he turns up later in the future, because I pray he turns up later in the future. Yeah, he's a Celtic, but I really fucks with Jayson Tatum. For the love of God, my favorite player is Kobe Bryant. He needs to stop trying to imitate Kobe Bryant because that's not who he should be. But until the Celtics start giving my Lakers some issues again, I'm cool with him. I'm not hating on bro right now. But if we're able to view the Boston Celtics as a team that just sucks right now and they're disappointing, Tatum, I fucks with you, but I mean it when I say it. Right now, you kind of suck. Or if anything, you're disappointing. But that's gonna do it for today's video. It's been your boy TSO Sage. Hopefully I didn't disappoint you guys with the video, and hopefully you were a part of the stream, whether I did it on Twitch or YouTube, that seen the video first. You should have had your noties on. Let me know how you feel down below. Maybe I've been tweaking the entire video, or if you agree with damn near everything I said, comment down below too. Or if you just want to vent and cry about the Celtics, do that too. That's funny. I mean, it's a safe space. Yeah, totally. Either way, hope you guys enjoyed the vid. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, take care and stay blessed.